People. Que pasa, suck, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. The first thing that is popping in the news is why it is that Jamaica can never get better. Why it is that the purses that Jamaica put on a pedestal give them position of trust. I am speaking about a family that includes the once Attorney General of Jamaica. Her name is Marlene Malahou Fort. Think she has a new position, constitution and legal rete lele. Me no remember the exact thing. However, she is at best a hypocrite, and at worst, somebody that facilitates some sorts of criminal activity, some sorts of abuse to take place by one or three of her family members. She has 4 sisters. These sisters, Jacqueline, Vinette, Marcia, a next sister, Donna. Of these 4 sisters, Jacqueline, Vinette, Marcia, those 3 are involved in some shady deal as it pertains to a man. His name is Mr. Wilbert. Mr. Wilbert Glenn Van Horn is his legal name. The other sister, her name is Donna. Donna is the only good one. So I am saying, out of all of these sisters, Marlene, Jacqueline, Vinette, Marcia, Jacqueline, Vinette, Marcia are involved in some shady stuff as it pertains to a couple of property that is owned by this man. He is an elder. He is 84 or 86 year old. The only sister, which would be the black sheep, is Donna, that is defending this man. Just to give you a story, Mr. Van Horn was married to the mother of these ladies. They were living in the United States. They've been married for 26 years or so. The lady lost her life. She got a stroke in 2021. She died 5 days afterwards. While Mr. Van Horn and the mother lived in the United States, he had a property, I think, in New York. That property that was in New York, one of the sisters, her name is Marcia. Marcia refinanced the man's house at least 2 times, could be 3. And she took out equity loan in excess of $300,000 US. Now remember, this man is in his 80s, so therefore he is probably not as mobile to move around, so therefore he gave this daughter power of attorney. However, not power of attorney to refinance his house without him knowing. Refinance 2 to 3 times 300,000, like I said. As a matter of fact, the man even sold the house after all of the equity line that was taken out through loans. They got 20,000 or 21,000. He then gave his wife, which was the mother of these ladies, $10,000 out of the 20 or $21,000. So that is what the sister Marcia did in New York. The man came to Jamaica while he was married to the mother, and he bought a house. He bought a house in a Savlamar, I think. This is the picture on the screen as I speak. The mother lost her life, like I said, in 2021. The house was fully paid for. This man had acquired some money, so therefore he paid cash for him house. That house is worth, I think, about 45 million Jamaican dollars, somewhere around there. You know that in a Savlamar, a $45 million house is considered expensive. We not talk about Beverly Hills, we not talk about Cherry Garden, we not talk about Norbrook. However, while he was with the mother, there was a thing on the title of that house called joint tenancy. What joint tenancy means is that if the husband loses his life, the house goes to the wife, vice versa. Like I said, the wife lost her life. She had a stroke 5 days after she lost her life. He would then realize that one of the sisters, that sister's name is Vinette. Vinette, by some strange means, ended up on the title of the house. Remember, this man was married to the mother. There was joint tenancy on the lease. That means whoever DEAD first, the next one owns it. By some strange fraudulent activity, Vinette ended up on that title, on that deed for that house. So the strange thing, like I said, joint tenancy between the husband, Mr. Van Horn, and the mother. However, the sister, Vinette, ended up on the title. Based on the documentation that is out there was a justice of the peace that signed. The justice of the peace initials was JM. One would think that it is Jacqueline Malaho, which is a next sister. Jacqueline Malaho is a justice of the peace, and she was just turned a lawyer. She just became a lawyer lately. So we would say that more than likely she was the person that signed. So therefore, one sister, Vinette, put her name upon the title by questionable means, and then a mysterious signature, mysterious initials, JM, is the person that signed. More than likely, they have some sorts of pull at the land title agency, in at the tax office, and they did some sort of shady deal. Now, when family members, and this man, Mr. Van Horn, he has family members that live in the United States, and him have some live at the UK. Most of these family members don't want to get involved because the long drawn out process, and them know who they are going up against. So anyways, while all of this was going on, the family, they hired an attorney, big time attorney in Jamaica. You might know her. Her name is Valerie Nita Robertson. If you look at the screen, they went to courts and they tried to put a blockage or a stop order. They made an article, they put an article in the newspaper saying that, listen, this man, Mr. Wilbert Glenn Van Horn, is the owner of the house. Vinette Malaho has no rights, no sorts of title, no sorts of... She's not representing that property, none at all. She has no legal means to the property, or the house, or the title. So people, this case has been going on from about 2022, just after the mother lost her life, and Vinette mysteriously found her name on the people title. The strange thing is that since this thing has been going back and forth to courts, every time it goes to courts is a different judge. It seems as if whenever any judge end up in a court and realize the name Malaho Fort, who is some sorts of big post in Jamaica, was once the Attorney General, it seems as if everybody a try run away from it. So we can assume that there's some sorts of intimidation. People don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. we can assume that they are using all sorts of delayed tactics, hopefully thinking that this man would pass away by the time the court comes to some sorts of conclusion, in my opinion. Now, people, here is a drama with this house also. One time when the courts was in session, the judge said that, all right, listen, we are going to get some sorts of security company to go by the house and monitor the house. Make sure that everything that is there is in place. Nothing is stolen. The house don't get burned down mysteriously, should in case some people lose the case. When the court ordered that, it is said that one of the sisters, maybe Jacqueline, who also lives right down the street from the house, coincidentally right in view of the house, she got some sorts of corrupted popo. I think that popo's name is Mr. Chambers. So the security was at the house one night. Mr. Chambers and him friend them jump over the fence, tell the security him have to go leave, even though the court ordered it. One of those sisters went to them popo friend in a salve and tell him go by the house, take out the security out of the house, and you start live there. It is said that police has been living at that house for about 3 or 4 months, until the case went back to court and the judge was notified. Them tell the popo them have to leave, and then they put in some sorts of mediator, somebody that is not in any sorts of bribery as the popo, somebody that is not taking side. That person is now monitoring the house. As a matter of fact, it is said that when the judge did an inventory of the house, some very expensive stuff was missing. I am going to tell you the story about that. Like me say, couple of sisters, Vinette, Jackie, Marlene, Marcia. The good one that is defending Mr. Van Horn, her name is Donna. It seems as if even though some of the sisters have joined up, I am speaking about Marlene, I am speaking about Jackie, I talk about Vinette and Marcia. It seems as if there is also infighting within the clique. It is said that the sister, Vinette, she realized that some very expensive stuff was missing out of the house. When she checked her stock, there is what we call a pendulum clock that this man, Mr. Van Horn, bought back in 1960 something. Very expensive. Very expensive. It is called a pendulum clock. It is said that that clock was removed from the house by your once Attorney General of Jamaica, Marlene Malaho Forts. The next one was taken out by Jackie. So people, you see, there is a clique and then there is infighting. It seems as if everybody greedy, everybody corrupt, everybody red eye for this man's property. Now we've all heard the popo people in law enforcement do all sorts of interview upon TV, and them are one most of the people them from the garrison that are always in all sorts of domestic dispute over what is called DEAD left legacy. However, when we see some people that are supposed to be respected, people put on a pedestal, supposed to be one of the highest person as it pertains to law enforcement, meaning Mrs. Marlene Malaho Forts and her family that are doing things. I am not going to say that she is directly involved. However, she is fully aware of what is going on, and she did not put down her foot. She did not try to get justice for this elderly man that was married to her mother for in excess of 26 years. This man is 84, maybe 86-year-old. If you cannot give justice to an elderly, how is it that you, at the post in which you are at, is going to give justice to anybody? It shows that you are biased. It shows that you are not really interested in justice. You are going to do stuff that is favorable to your family. So therefore, you will facilitate FUCKRY. As a matter of fact, it is alleged that you stole that pendulum clock, and then Jacqueline took some sort of expensive chandelier when the court ordered. Don't you collaborate with the court? That means if the court tell you to do something, you know, say you're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to agree with the court. You're supposed to comply with the courts. So people, I want you to follow me, so we have no sorts of confusion. Sisters, Donna is a sister that oversees the construction of the house in question right now in Assav. She is the good sister. The difference between Donna and the rest of sisters, and I have pictures to prove, me just now gonna put them up for reasons I don't have to say. She is like the black sheep of the family because she is the BLACKER one in the family. The rest of them look like the typical uptown brownish prettier. She is the one that is the honest one. She is the one that is actually defending this man's right, defending this man's property. Needless to say, the rest of family is in a rift with her because they act as if she is a traitor. So let's follow the story. The sister, who is Marcia, refinanced this man's house in the United States a couple of times, 2 to 3 times, in excess of $300,000 US. The other two sister, Jacqueline, she signed more than likely on the transfer to put her next sister Vinette name upon the title when it was joint tenancy between the man and the wife, Mr. Van Horn and their mother. She had nothing to do with it. However, she mysteriously ended up on the man's title because them have clout, them have pull. The next thing is that there's all sorts of allegations that one of the sister, Vinette, once again was charged for all sorts of fraud in a foreign, all sorts of food stamp thing, all sorts of social security. Now, why these family members are coming out is because they feel as if these people have this man, the elderly man, 80-year-old, under duress. That means they make all sorts of power of attorney, and they are draining the man's asset in his house like they did in New York. And they are hoping, because since the mother gone and the man are 80-something, that this man is going to DIE, and then they would have all access to this house, which is said to worth at least 45 million Jamaican dollars. It is also said that the sister, Vinette, again took this man from Jamaica. Remember, he is a United States citizen. He lived in United States for a little while. Then he moved to Jamaica, bought his house, the house that is in question, maybe about 2002. So maybe about 2 decades ago. It is even said that she held this man under duress. Take him go America, figure make him sign some sort of social security. Now people, based on what I know, if your wife is getting social security, that social security might also go to the husband. But this man has been working hard in the United States. So therefore, this sister again took the man overseas to sign up some sort of social security, saying that she is the power of attorney. So therefore, more than likely, that check is going towards Vinette or one of the sisters in question. Now, people, remember, this man are 80-something. These people are manipulating. These people are taking advantage of this man to the fullest extent of the law. Me being somebody that is fully aware of the United States rules and laws and regulation, do you know what can happen if and when the court gets knowledge of this, which I will probably take to them and make them know, say, listen, these are the documents which I have in which this person, Mrs. Marcia, took out equity loan of about $300,000. This is an ex-sister again that wants this man, is pressuring this man, taking this man under duress for sign over his social security to them. People, you know, see where I go on. This is supposed to be Marlene Malaho Forts, once Attorney General, given a new post. Constitutional law, rate, all kind of big posts, all kind of title. She is supposed to stand for justice. However, something that directly affects her. Her family is doing the same thing that she swore under oath, that she's going to make sure that there is justice in Jamaica. We want to know which part the DPP there, which part the Commissioner of Popo there, which part any sorts of Popo there, wherein these people are FIGHT over DEAD left legacy and the man not even DEAD yet. People, that is why whenever you see people in a certain position and you hear them talk, they are not practicing what they are preaching. And this is why Jamaica is the way that it is. Because when a little man over Moko and him family in a dispute and you hear say him limb up him family and you hear say them can't come to any sorts of agreement, I am not going to say you understand or it is justified. That person, you figure, just ignorant. That person just have anger management problem. However, when you see people that the government of Jamaica co-sign to be somebody that is in charge of justice, how is that person now seeing something as straightforward injustice, fraud, deception like this, and she turns a blind eye? And people, just to make it very clear, I don't want this lady to act as if I am trying to defame her character. However, I have facts. I have evidence. Don't have to say she knows what went down. She knows what is out there. So therefore, don't try for act. Don't think say you can go get any sorts of big liar because somebody is defaming your character. Everything that I spoke about is documented, whether in the United States, all of the equity loan, the title that was transferred, that person's name was added. All of this is public knowledge. All of this is in the public sphere. So therefore, whoever wants to check, it is there. It is not just me making up stuff. It is stuff that your family did, and you're turning a blind eye. You have full knowledge as to what is going on. However, you do not believe in justice, because if you did, you would not allow your family members, which have been abusing this man, Mr. Van Horn, for the longest time and still doing it. Like me said, there's a pending case in court. The case goes back to court on the 19th of April, which would be this month. This case has been going on for a little while. The people have to hire Valerie Nita Robertson. Valerie Nita Robertson is fully aware of what I am speaking about, Valerie Nita Robertson more than likely has all these documentation to validate everything that I am saying. I have pictures, may have videos, may have voice notes. I am just not going to put those up. However, if you guys want to put a foot, you will get shook. Point blank and period. Thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like this, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like this to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. The link is in the description of this video. Bless up.